Twofer! What? What?
So this one, episode 8, Zoey's extraordinary birthday. I want to start by saying the last episode is better, in my opinion. It was still good, but so the episode starts with Zoey talking to baby Miles. Can you say Zoey? Can you say Zoey? And baby's just like, yeah. Like babies do, because they're adorable. And Emily's like, he cannot. He is a baby.
Typical parent fed up, parent who's a little bit over the cuteness stage, kind of a thing, or at least at that point in the day. Because when you're a parent, you always see your baby as cute until they, are demanding for 8 hours straight. And they're just like, yes, it's very cute. He won't go to bed.
But Zoey notices there's just nice flower arrangements, nice dishes. What's the occasion? And her mom is like, well, it's your birthday week. And she's like, Dad just died. And it was really her mom that convinced her, you should celebrate, have a party, big house.
Yeah.
David makes a crack like, oh, but you only have 6 close friends, right? You can't fill this house. She's like, no, I got this.
I got friends. Which cuts to the office.
Oh, well, we did miss that. Her mom quoted her dad, bigger moments, bigger memories.
Yes. Apparently it was her whole family quoted it. They're like, oh, you know what your dad always said? Bigger moments, bigger memories. They all quote it.
Yeah, it's what her dad would have wanted. So now she's making a guest list, and she invites random secretary Alicia.
Who I didn't see at the party.
Well.
And she's like, you know my name? Yeah, you're my girl.
Oh, no, she didn't even say that. She was just like, I know who you are. I see you. Do you want me to cater? No, I want you to come as one of my main peeps. Okay, I guess I'll go to your party.
Yeah.
And to me, that was just like, you see someone in power and you're like, well, they're never going to pay attention to me, so I'm just going to, whatever. I mean, Zoey knew her name. She may not interact with her closely on a regular basis, but the fact that she knows her name is...
I identified with Zoey in that moment, because that's like how I feel when I'm inviting people to the Super Bowl party at the office. I'm like, do I invite the whole office, or do I just pick out the people I like? It's like, come to my party, and they're like, huh?
Who are you?
Okay. No, people know me. I'm very in demand. Not because of who I am, but just because I have admin privileges. But still, that's something.
So they want you for your admin.
Yeah, they're all about that admin action.
Anyway, she goes to talk to Simon, who is influential tech person number 27.
Yeah,
so he's like, yeah, great, come to my party.
Yeah, he's kind of like, I was just, listed as the number 27 most influential tech person on this list. And he kind of shows her the website, and she's like, great, come to my party.
And he said he'll come, can't wait. She invites the whole office. Also, SparkPoint is looking for pitches for a new phone, so he wants the winning pitch to come from engineering. Because of course you do.
Sure.
Meanwhile, at Max and Mo flirts with Fire Marshal Guy. He says yes. Zoey invites Max and Mo to birthday party. Max is distracted by Rosanna. Zoey feels like the third wheel to the whole conversation. Oh, how do you know each other? We met at SparkPoint. Didn't tell her that they used to date. Rose and Max musical number In Excess, One of My Kind. Rose marking her territory in front of Zoey.
So slide over here and give me a moment.
And Zoey's like, mince, ah.
She's a bit more put off than I was actually expecting.
Yeah.
By that whole thing.
Yeah. She's like, Max and I have been friends and stuff ever since. And stuff. Zoey.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
And Rose just goes, cool.
And then Mo leans over. Is it just me? Or are those two really trying to opening sequence? Lols. It was somebody other than Zoey, which I loved.
Loved it.
Loved it. Zoey describing the musical number to Mo. It was quite sexual.
Yeah, their Max and Rose's dance number was a bit steamy.
Yeah.
I mean, that song, so makes sense, but...
So Mo's wondering what right Zoey has to be upset, but in Zoey's defense, she and Max never really talked about, okay, we're on a pause, but what does this mean about other potential relationships? That's a legitimate point. She's not wrong.
I suppose. Yeah. And they didn't... It's not like they did anything.
Right.
They have feelings. You're allowed to have feelings. Max isn't wrong when he feels that Zoe's power is an invasion of privacy. And not that it's her fault.
She doesn't have any control over it.
Yes. But dude's allowed to have feelings.
Well, we'll get there. So, garage band side story.
Woo!
The band chides David for bringing up his sex life because Emily is like real into him now that he's in a band.
Yeah, he's like, sorry guys. Sorry I kind of petered out at the end of that song, guys. My wife and I were up late in the bedroom. And the band's like...
That's crass,
That's
dude.
a bit crass, dude. It's just kind of funny because it's like these young 20-somethings, like... Why is this 30-year-old whatever guy, bringing up his sex life with his wife?
And you're just saying that because you're jealous.
It's true.
So David and Aiden.
Yes, got his name.
Y'all relationships. Talk relationships.
It's probably what I typed in it, yeah.
Aiden feels rejected by Zoey, but David doesn't realize the conversation is about Zoey, so he helps Aiden write a song about her. Or, well, Aiden writes alone. It was kind of funny, I'll just go.
I'll just go see what the rest of the band's up to.
Zoey texted Max to talk about where the relationship status is, so he comes over. She tells Max that she saw his Heart Song duet. Max is taken aback because he's not sure what's up with Rose.
Yeah, they had this whole song and dance number, but that was all their inner feelings. On the surface, they're keeping it pretty low-key. They're not talking.
But clearly they're not, because Mo was the one that interjected. Is it just me, or are they all...
Well, she's very intuitive as well.
He's very intuitive.
Whatever. My gosh.
Mo is very intuitive.
But, when you're the one in that situation, you're always thinking, maybe I'm just making it up. Maybe I'm seeing what I want to see, They're not entirely aware of each other's feelings, necessarily.
But everyone else is.
Clearly.
So, Zoey admits to Mo about flirting with Aiden, and... No. Sorry. No, she admits to Max that she had flirted with Aiden, but she wants them to talk openly about what they're doing with their relationships. Zoey and Max argue. They're both confused. Because then she also brings up Simon. And Max gets all defensive about that, and Zoey poured 2 drinks. Max leaves maturely. So you better not waste that second drink. She didn't.
I'm sure she didn't. Well, I don't know. She took a sip. She was like, oh.
Oh, that's right. Zoey goes to talk to Mo. She wants to cancel her party, and Mo says you can't cancel because I've already invited the fire marshal. And at the office, Tobin and the chick both have phone pitches, the megaphone and the microphone. Oh my gosh, I just realized how funny that is.
Yeah. Subtle, not so much.
The office ends up throwing a birthday celebration for her, which was really cute.
Yeah.
Headed by Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe tells everyone she canceled the party. Simon wants to talk to her about it, but she won't tell him why. There's a musical number. The office don't leave me this way. Awesome as always. Zoe relents. The party's back on. Tobin had been disappointed because he invited a bunch of Tinder chicks. He's happy now. So at the house, the party's about to start. Zoe's emotional about her dad. She was going to wear the earrings her dad gave her. Her mom talks to her, brings her out of it. I may have already started drinking, she says. Lol, me. Tobin and engineering chick are totally getting together. They come in together and they're arguing about the phone, but you know.
You can tell.
The party starts. Fire marshal's name is Perry. Max is there and they're good. He brings a present. It's a framed Moment Like This Kelly Clarkson album. Like gold album, and I think it looked like she signed it.
Probably.
Yeah, and they hug it out.
And apparently that was their song.
Yeah, because that was the song that she heard when they duetted to that.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
So she gives him permission to pursue things with Rose, and they actually have a pretty mature conversation. So when they were having their fight, I was like, oh, man, here we go. Like, you know, after everything we said in the last video, but it's so interesting because they're both still really into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both jealous of each other. But they're both being mature and saying, well...
Because you can acknowledge emotions and overcome them and be like, this is a detriment to my character. I can't stop feeling it, but I know that it's wrong. Like...
Well, they're not dating right now, so there's nothing wrong.
Right. Well, and that's where I kind of have a hang up about this whole pause thing. Like, just don't do that. Don't try to pause a relationship. Either you're in a relationship or you're not. Because this will inevitably always happen. I'm committed to someone, I'm just not seeing them right now.
I still have feelings for this person, but we're not in a committed, like, marriage relationship. I see where you're coming from, for sure. But I also respect the fact that until you are married, you can be in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Cheating is not okay in that scenario. But you haven't committed to each other. So, I don't know. I'm kind of seeing it from a standpoint of well, the sex aside.
Right.
They got to a point where they couldn't commit to each other. Or at least Zoe couldn't, but clearly Max couldn't either, because what if they were still dating and this Rose chick showed up? You know, they wanted to be in it, but they both have things to work out. And at least they did that in a non-marriage, we're still together situation.
Sure.
And I respect that.
Sure. There can be emotions and confusion about it without one of them having cheated on the other. That's fair. But, yeah, that whole, I don't know. They put it on pause, and I understand why they did, because they're like, we both have feelings for each other. Like, we can go ahead and admit that I'm not ready, because Zoey was dealing with the grief over her dad, right? That's why they broke up, paused.
She was getting in her own way. She kept having those nightmares.
Right. So, and I honestly can't remember the conversation they had, but they said, take a break or put it on pause or whatever they said. And I get why they did it, but outside observer over here, I'm just saying, like, relationships on pause, I just can't see that ever working. Like,
well, you wanted to do it. Not to call you out or anything, but...
How long did that last?
Longer than I liked. Granted, that was like a day or two, but still.
Alright. I hear you.
My brother had to comfort me, okay?
Okay.
Also, there was that time that we were supposed to have we were supposed to have our 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock conversation, and you didn't call me. You were working that night, but you didn't call me, and I tried calling you so many times, and Alex's friend Matt was over, and I was freaking out because I thought you were in a ditch dying or something. I remember Alex and Matt were both like, take a breath. It's okay. Probably just fell asleep. It's fine. But at the same time, I could also see behind Alex's eyes, like, you're doing this to my sister.
You will pay.
Anyway, off topic. So yeah, they had that conversation. It was actually mature, and because in your 30s, and again, well, I can't even attest. I can only guess how hard it is to date in your 30s. I mean, Dan just got engaged. Seems like it's gonna go forward, which is good.
Yeah.
He's my age. By a couple months, and he's turning 37 at the end of the month.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah.
Like...
Oh my gosh, Dan's getting close to 40. What the hell? Not you. 37's close to 40, not 36.
We're both born in 84, you dipshit!
I said Dan is. He's older than you.
By 2 months? Like, almost to the day.
It's ancient.
26th?
Yeah.
By the way, how funny is it that you got Erica April 24th, Briley April 25th, and Dan April 26th?
Right?
Your poor parents.
Gosh. You have to, have this circled in red every year. It's just
money.
Budget for that week. Way off topic.
Anyway. So yeah, dating in your 30s, it's gotta be rough.
Gotta be rough.
So Simon shows up, looks slightly unhappy to see Max and Zoey coming downstairs from where her bedroom is.
Yeah.
But then he's also there with Tatiana.
Oh.
And she's all... And then there's this weird conversation from Zoey because she's, getting these vibes from Tatiana, and you're like... She's at the bar talking to Mo. She's Mo is like, oh, I like Perry, but because of this, but I also don't like him because of this. The stoicness comes up.
Yeah.
But then the musical number starts is Kiss Me, directed at Perry. Perry joins in. But then David and his wife are singing it to... Everyone joins in. Zoe's feeling a little left out. And there's Engineering Chick and Tobin singing it too together. Called it. Zoe tells Mo she's good with Perry. But... So Zoe tells Mo that he's good with Perry. But how come no one wants to... How come no one's singing to me?
Right, that's what Zoe says.
Yeah. He said, girl, guys have been singing for you for 2 years. Get it together, chica.
I mean, yeah. How come no one's singing to me? What? They have been.
But, like, on her birthday. Like...
Oh, so... Now.
But then Zoe's mom gives a speech and there's a musical surprise. The garage band.
Woo.
They sing the song Aiden wrote about Zoe. I assume. Yep. And David is real uncomfortable because he only just realized at that moment that it's about his sister. And he's like, gosh, this is hilarious.
Yeah, that great bit of facial acting by David there. Like he keeps playing the song, but he's just like
I can't sing these lyrics anymore. Like what? And then it comes out later that
I thought her name was Ginger.
Yeah, because Emily's like, how could you not know? And he's like, he didn't include that end part until tonight. I had no idea.
Can't confirm, guys are oblivious.
Yep.
I would be David in that scenario.
Yeah. And you would be like, bull.
Yes, I would.
So then we cut back to Perry and Mo moment, and it is confirmed that Perry is gay. He has an ex-husband, and he also has kids. And I'm not sure how I feel about that whole patron saint thing, but I feel a lot more relieved that it's not like he's like
a practicing Catholic or anything.
Yeah, he clearly knows that Mo
is a dude.
Is a dude.
As much as it goes against our faith, it's gonna make things go smoother.
Yeah.
We've seen homosexual relationships in plenty of shows. It is what it is.
But, so Mo is not crazy about the fact that Perry has kids. Perry says it's a package deal with the kids. Says Mo has his number if he didn't scare Mo away.
And that's all we got from that for this episode.
No. We'll get there.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Aiden, how'd you like my song? Says that since their day together, he has all these melodies in his head. It's like he's haunted by music.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, Zoe's thing isn't drug-induced. But I feel like there's a tie there. Not that, she and Aiden are going to have any kind of romantic relationship because, as we'll see, she shot that down hardcore. However, that's very interesting.
Yeah. Could we, even if it's not Aiden, could we end up seeing somebody else who's having the same affliction as Zoe?
Well, I think... And not that I want a relationship for them. I don't want a romantic relationship for them. But what if he is experiencing the same thing?
That could be interesting. And again,
And that's why he feels a connection.
Ah, okay.
But it could be one of those things where it just transitions to a friendship. We are both feeling these.
We're both experiencing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he's actually experiencing what Zoe is, that could be real interesting. Let's see if the show goes that way.
But that was a very interesting drop.
Mm-hmm.
And, Zoe played it off like, oh, yeah, I know how you feel. But that was a little too on the nose.
Right, exactly. It wasn't just, man, I feel like I can read into people's emotions. Yeah, I know how you feel. Like, no, he said it in a really specific way.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. I would enjoy that storyline, I think.
Be a nice little twist.
Definitely throw a monkey wrench in the she's in a coma the whole time theory. That's okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Also a good point.
So Zoe has this look, which we had to pause at that exact moment, and I took a picture and posted it on Facebook. My face when Briley says, well, anything. I've already gotten a few laugh emojis on that, so yay.
Winning.
So Zoe tells him it's never going to happen. Shuts him down immediately. Good on her. They start singing happy birthday to her, and she stops it because just no singing, please.
No, don't sing to me. I changed my mind.
The party ends, and she talks to Tatiana as she's on her way out. And I really liked this scene because Tatiana was like, I mean, yeah, he's a good-looking dude. I mean, who wouldn't want to kiss him? But, she's going to meet a Bumble date.
Yeah.
And she has this knowing look like he's clearly into somebody else. And
right.
There's no... bad blood there.
No, there's not.
And again, that's refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a well done scene. It was unexpected.
And it drives home this idea that, yeah, people can be mature. Like, yeah, I like this person, but it doesn't have to be this big drama thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can look and see and appreciate that, he's into someone else, which is this person, and that's okay. Because, let's face it, that whole rival girlfriend, potential boyfriend thing is so exhausting and overdone.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate this.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's an overplayed trope. It's an easy way to get a few episodes out of a storyline. And it's probably overdone in regards to how people actually interact. Because as immature as people are, they're not as immature as shows, like to play it up. TV shows, especially sitcoms, like to play the whole, no, I can explain. And then the scene ends, and it's like, no, they would have actually had a conversation there if this was real life. So, as much as I was almost criticizing the show for how overly mature they were being about some things, that I think was probably more realistic. That, yeah, not everything's this big emotional dramatic thing.
Yeah.
You can maybe have an attraction to somebody without being emotionally invested in them.
So there's nothing going on between her and Simon. Cut to, David, Simon, Max, Zoe's mom, who I wanted to say Maggie. Mary, the actress's name is Mary. So I got a little confused. Everyone's laughing about the song. And David has to quit the band. Should I start a dad band?
And Emily was like, I was into it until you said that.
You got Simon is left with Zoe. Damn, did you just go in for a kiss? Back at the apartment the next morning, Mo offers a birthday morning cake because the party was Saturday, which was the day before Zoe's birthday. Her actual birthday was Sunday. She's totally an Alicia type. Love it. Heat. I know. It's so confusing.
It's easier in my brain if I just call Moshi forever.
But it's really interesting because everyone calls him he. And it's like some trans people want she or them or they, and some want he. Like that. That's really interesting to me. He wants to dress and act like a woman, but he also wants to retain his masculinity? I don't get it. I don't get it.
I have many, many thoughts and opinions on it that we will not get into.
But yes, Alicia type, love it. And so he asks about Perry, they talk kids, and gray hairs, lol. Because Moa's like, if I get in a relationship with a guy who has kids, that's gonna make me feel old.
Right.
And Zoe's like,
so this perfect guy that you're into might make you slightly outside of your comfort zone. For you.
And then Mo's like, your gray hairs. So I can't remember. It was something about gray hairs. And Zoe's like,
yeah.
Can relate. I was supposed to have a hair appointment on the 5th. And I canceled it because I was like, oh, we got to get Hannah to dance and Briley to gymnastics. And that wasn't a thing. Because when I made the appointment, it was right before Briley got into her 6 o'clock class. So it would have been 6:30. So, it would have been a little annoying for you, but you would have been able to take Hannah to dance and take Briley to gymnastics and whatever. Then I was like, oh no, they're both at 6. I can't do this anymore. Well, that's clearly a good thing because she's pregnant. And I could have been carrying a stomach bug.
Yeah.
So, not. Yeah. At the house, David quit the band. And he's like, it was hard. Oh, they didn't take it well? No, I didn't take it well. He talks to his mom, asks how she did with the party, and she said it was nice having life back in the house, nice conversation. There's a kiss me reprieve. Max and Rose. And this is what we're getting back to. Mo and Perry. So Mo did call Perry that, he was there. Tobin and that chick, learn name. Zoe and Simon. One last birthday surprise for you. The cheesequake. The hell is it? I want it. Make a wish. She goes to blow out the candle, musical number. I'm so into you. interesting to see Zoe interacting with the musical number, and they kiss. She didn't blow out the candle. And then in your mind, Perry appears out of nowhere. That's a fire hazard. It was an enjoyable episode. I think, again, I stand by what I said. I think the last episode was better. I'm so torn on the whole Zoe Simon thing.
Yeah.
I like it. But I don't think that's her guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
And it's not a race thing. It's
no, but she ended up with Max first, and it was an equal thing. Like, oh, will she end up with Zach, or will she Max? Will she end up with Simon? And she ended up with Max, and I was like, yeah, that makes more sense to me. That feels more right.
Because they're friends first, and that's what we
experienced.
And we were best friends.
Right.
And
so
it just blossomed.
Yeah.
So it's not a race thing for me. It's
No.
and there's also that. Well, then there's that. They both, Zoe and Simon both experienced tragic losses of father figures, which is what initially drew them together.
Right, which is not a great basis for a relationship. Shared experiences, yes, but something a little bit too emotional like that.
But neither is jumping into a relationship after the death of a very close loved one.
Right.
So it's a very interesting show because it's getting into the real life of that.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean now her kind of being with Simon, it's not
Well, they kissed, but
it's not built on that anymore. So I still don't feel like that's who she's supposed to end up with. But I can't make that excuse anymore. That, they're building their relationship off the wrong thing. So I'm not mad at the relationship.
no, I'm not either, and especially with that whole scene with Tatiana and
Yeah. Put it this way.
sad now.
Whatever feelings they have, whether they end up together or not, now they have to be resolved. They were unresolved when she was with Max. So, there's that.
True. Well, I continue to really enjoy the show. The musical numbers, the plot.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, at this point, I think I enjoyed season 1 better. I don't think that this is a sophomore slump or anything. With the exception of, like, Parks and Rec, I have traditionally liked first seasons better.
Okay.
But, yeah. That's all I got.
That's all I got, and I think my phone's just about dead, so.
All right. So, call it.